experienced in plenty of roles like quality engineer, technical analyst, and a corporate trainer in software industry. She is having more than 10 years of experience in this industry, and currently she is working as a corporate trainer and a quality engineer in All Scripts Pune. Now let's start this session. Over to you, Akansha.
Thank you so much, Nikita, and thank you so much, Manish, sir, for giving me the opportunity to speak to all the students. I hope by the end of the session, we learn something about data analytics, and I help you to sail through the boat, and you lead towards IoT and the world of AI and machine learning. So I hope my voice is audible to everyone. Feel free to ask questions anywhere in between. Interrupt me in between if I'm going pretty fast or pretty slow, then you can obviously stop me in between. But today I'm going to share some really good real life examples as well as the concepts of data analytics, which could help you to understand that what trend is going on in the industry and how you can take benefit out of it. Okay. So I would start with my personal experience. When I joined as a fresher, my first job was at Zensar, and I joined as a junior software engineer there. And the first task which my manager gave to me was there was a new vertical which was established in our organization, which was a healthcare vertical. So everything was pretty new, and we were not aware that what all things need to be done in the healthcare industry and all that. My manager gave me one simple task: Akanksha, you just have these keywords. Like, he gave me few keywords like healthcare, ICD, and product, which I could easily make out that what the meaning is. And then he told me, derive all the competitors which are existing in the market and which can compete with Zensar. Okay. So I said, okay. I went through all the list. I just Googled, okay, 3M is working on it, Cerner is working on it, whatever, all the healthcare companies which are working on it, the products which are existing, what all revenues that company has made out of those products and all that. And I made a nice Excel out of that, which was very rich in data. Now, when I presented that to my manager, he was quite impressed because there was all the data from various sources, various companies, which I have gathered, and I presented him in the form of Excel. At that time, I was like, ठीक है, मेरा काम हो गया, अभी इसका मुझे क्या फायदा है? I was not aware of the broader picture which they were looking at. What my manager did was he extracted the meaningful data out of that Excel and made some charts, by using formulas and calculations. And then it was beneficial in deriving what could be the product which we can tap in the market, which our competitors are also working on, and which is the latest industry trend. So you are getting the idea. That time, I was not aware that I was doing a job of a data analyst as such. I was just, enjoying my time. Okay, ठीक है, मुझे कुछ detective वाला काम दिया हुआ है. I have to derive some data out of these statistics and all that. So I just did my work. That time, the data analyst term, I was not aware that this was a case. Okay. So as you move forward in this session, you would realize that how much important data can become, and what all things you can do with it. Okay, let me share my screen. All right, there you go. So today we are going to learn about data analytics. Okay. So so I was telling you about my story. So that all happened. And then we have, like, data is the key, very important key. And when we have accurate, complete, and relevant data, it can make a lot of huge differences. So but keep that in mind, even if you have all the data, there's a possibility that you can make some misses due to some inaccuracies and poor collaboration. Your data could also give you a huge loss. So how many of you have heard of the Mars orbiter mission? Just ping me over chat. I'm sorry, I'm using a single screen, so I'll move over chat. And let me know if you have heard about the Mars orbiter mission. So NASA was working on yes, Suryansh is aware of it. So NASA was working on a mission in 1999, and they made a spacecraft which was intended to read about the climate and the spatial structure of Mars. And it was supposed to go into the Mars orbit and gather the data, which could be very helpful for us. It was a $125 million project. Okay, a huge amount of investment and a proper data was given to the spacecraft. And when it flew and entered into the Martian orbit, it burned. It just burned. Why did it happen? Because of poor communication and collaboration. So later, this all incident happened. It was a huge loss, obviously a loss of money, loss of efforts, and the findings were delayed. And then there was a review board which sat down, and they were identifying what was the root cause behind that failure. You would be surprised to know that in NASA there were two units. So one was navigation unit, and one was the engineers who were actually working on that spacecraft. And there were thrusters which were applied in the spacecraft. So the navigation team was using the calculation of force in newtons, and the engineering team assumed that the data is coming in pounds, which was the British unit. Can you imagine that kind of glitch can happen in NASA? So they delivered a software which was automatically learning that, okay, the thrusters would compute the force, but they made a wrong assumption, which led to the loss. So you have to be mindful as a data analytics. If you want to make a career in data analytics, then you have to be sure that you are giving and interpreting the right data. You can't assume anything. Okay. Are you guys with me till now? How was the Martian example? Sab dar gaye? Okay. So there are few really good examples right now, like what we have learned from our mistakes. For example, if you consider the video streaming services like Netflix or Amazon, wherever you watch series, web series and all that, what do? They recommend you what kind of programs you want to watch, right? And then they recommend that, okay, Akanksha, like, let's say, action movies. So they give me recommendation of action movies. So it's a benefit for me, right? They are reaching directly to the consumer by giving the insights. Also, it is a win-win for the content creators, because they get to know that what kind of data audience loves to watch. So it's pretty simple that it should be a win-win situation for both. That's how the business runs, right? So these are the few good examples which you can, and also, I mean, most of you must be having a YouTube channel or an Instagram account where you can actually look at the insights, and you can derive that, okay, when I post on Thursday, the count of my viewers increases. Somehow, Sanhul, could you
Mohammed
please?
Hassan, mute your mic. Sorry, ma'am. Please go ahead.
No problem. That happens. Absolutely fine. Okay, so yeah, so you can see that analytics आपको मिल गया है, and then you can derive that what kind of audience gets attracted on the Thursday. So I can tap my data or my content and reach out to maximum of the audience. Okay, ultimate aim is to grow in our business, to make mindful data driven decisions based on our predictions. Okay, so I hope you all can see my PPT. So we have got a gist of what data analytics and why it is being used for. Now data everywhere. Now we have devices which are smart devices, connected devices, and there is Internet of Things, which is nothing but extension of internet into the physical world. You have your Internet of Thing operated devices like washing machine, your bulbs, your Alexa, Echo Dot, and whatnot. So you have data everywhere. Next, we would look at types of data. Okay, so you will say, yeah, types of data kya ho sakta hai? So you get data from n number of endpoints, and then that data comes in multiple formats. So that we would cover in types of data. Next part we would cover would be types of data analytics. Okay, So there are few types of data analytics strategies which you can implement, and I would give you some really good examples which you can easily relate with. So this would be a very light session, but you would get a gist of how it actually works. So the next topic is how it actually works. There would be some processes which are involved in the data analytics process. There are tools which I would like demo for a short while, and you can learn those programming languages offline and take help from your teachers and mentors. They're always there. Then we would explore about the career option or the roles which are present in the data analytics industry. Okay, so so we have engineering students here, and the types of data which you guys can easily relate to is very soon you would be having your campuses and campus preparation going on, and what your teachers would do, your teachers would divide you into groups, and they would say GD karo, group discussion karo. Okay, what would happen out of group discussion? They would look out for certain qualities. Let's say he is a good communicator, he puts his point really well. Okay, she is very good in presentation. When she talks with facts. Okay, so that would be some qualities which your invigilators would be judging. So what that data becomes? That data becomes your qualitative data. Okay, so on the PPT, if you see on the left side, there is qualitative data tools, which is nothing but focus group, social media, text analysis, in-person interviews. These would be all the judgment of qualities. Okay, now there could be quantitative data tools. Let's say your teachers put you in a room and take exam, which is having multiple choice questions and all that. You get a marks, you get a metric out of it, you get a number. So that becomes the quantitative data. So in that, we have surveys, polls, structured interview, which you see on the right side. So that is nothing but the number or the actual calculation or the actual data in which you can make calculations. So broadly classifying in terms of IoT, you can get structured and unstructured data, okay, which is very similar to this concept. Structured मतलब आपको पता है कि किस डेटा फॉर्मेट में आपका डेटा आ रहा है. Let's say int में आ रहा है, float में आ रहा है, और या फिर boolean में आ रहा है, 0 1 कैसा डेटा आ रहा है, you know about that. There could be unstructured data. Unstructured data मतलब फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपने फेसबुक पर कोई पोस्ट किया, कोई अपना गाना अपलोड किया, वीडियो अपलोड किया, स्पीच अपलोड किया, so that could not be categorized as a data type, right? They have a different format altogether. So those would be kind of unstructured data. Now your job is like, ये तो मैंने कंज्यूमर के साइड से बताया कि आपने कंज्यूमर एज अ कंज्यूमर क्या डेटा दिया. As a data analyst, you need to work on that data. You need to process that data. You need to build a model out of that data and use it for your decision making, right? After all, क्या करना है हमको? किसी भी business को एक proper decision making में help करना है. So how you can make recommendations based on the data you have received. Okay. Feel free to interrupt me in between if I'm going fast or slow, or if you are not getting any concept. All right. Okay. So the next topic of interest is types of data analytics. Give me a moment, please. Okay. So types of data analytics is nothing but analytics आप किस type पे define कर सकते हो and how you can make use of it. So if you see this diagram, it has added value, contribution, and complexity. And based on that, there are 4 levels. So descriptive, diagnostic, predictive, and prescriptive analytics. What they all mean. So for example, मान लो कि आज हमारे सीएम ने, हमारा जो चीफ मिनिस्टर है, उन्होंने बोला कि लेट्स से ओरिएंटल इंस्टीट्यूट के बच्चों को एक ऐसा मॉडल बनाना है जिससे हमारी सिटी को ज्यादा इनकम मिल सके. ओके, सो ये आपको एक प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट दे दिया है सीएम ने. नाउ व्हाट यू गाइज वुड डू? स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट क्या होगा आपका? आप करोगे उसका पास्ट एनालिसिस, लाइक सिटी ने लेट्स से पिछले 10 साल में कैसा परफॉर्म किया है, व्हाट हैज हैपेंड. सो दैट्स काइंड ऑफ अ past data, a hindsight. This covers under descriptive analytics. Okay, when I say descriptive analytics, you make all the data, you gather all the data from the past, even from the incoming data, live data भी अगर आपके पास आ रहा है आज की डेट का, that also becomes like a previous data, right? It's not going to happen further, it's a kind of a previous data. वो data आपने analyze किया, okay, and then आपने find out किया कि क्या क्या industries भोपाल में already existing थी 10 साल से, and how were they performing, okay? Let's say textile industry थी, spacecraft industry थी, I'm just giving random example, and all that. So आपने उसका data prepare कर लिया. So based on that, that analytics, it is called as descriptive analytics. Now second part क्या है? Diagnostic analytics. Diagnostic analytics और descriptive दोनों ही past category में आते हैं. Why? Diagnostic में आप ट्रबल शूट करते हो, आप उसके रूट कॉज तक जाते हो कि भाई अगर टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्री भोपाल में थी 10 साल से, so why it was not working, why it failed, like for it boomed for 5 years and then it failed gradually. So you do a troubleshooting analysis, you do a diagnostic for that industry trend, okay? So that becomes your diagnostic analytics. तो आपको उससे क्या पता चलेगा कि what all mistakes we have done in the past which we don't want to repeat in the upcoming industries, okay? Now third analysis is predictive analytics. Predictive analytics में आप क्या करोगे? As the word says itself, it's a kind of a prediction. So obviously you want to predict out of the data you are getting from. So let's say आपने predict किया कि भाई भोपाल में commercial based industries अगर आती हैं तो that would be a good match for our city and it would work for our state, ठीक है? So now you are making predictions, okay? ठीक है, तो predictive analytics में ये cover हो गया. And then the fourth part is prescriptive, where you actually prescribe. Now prediction करके या फिर recommendation देकर कुछ नहीं होगा. You have to take action on that, remember. So for taking actions, you have a prescriptive analytics. Prescriptive में आपने बोला कि भाई commercial industries में warehouses थे, shopping malls थे जो कि अच्छा काम कर सकते हैं हमारी सिटी में. 5 years का आपने मार्केट में जो ट्रेंड चल रहा है उसका इनपुट लिया. लेट्स से आपने देखा कि लोगों का स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ लिविंग जो है वो काफी बढ़ गया है एंड ड्यू टू दैट people are going more to the malls, they are inclined in shopping part and they are just the industry itself is booming. So what you have done now, you have done the prescriptive analytics. So you take all the data, you gather all the data and then propose a model. So are you guys with me till now? Any questions, any suggestions? Drop your comments on chat. I'll be checking them whenever we get time. So this was the model. These were the different types of data analytics. Okay. Now we are moving forward to how it works. तो अगर आपने सारा एनालिसिस कर लिया है, अब मान लो आपको शिवराज सिंह चौहान के पास जाना है, so you won't take your papers and pen and भाई ये हमने बनाया था, right? You would actually take a model and present him with some reports so that the stakeholders who are interested to grow their business actually take an interest and they get to know in layman terms कि भाई चल क्या रहा है यहाँ पर, आपने क्या एनालिसिस किया and हम उससे क्या क्या एक्शंस ले सकते हैं. Okay, so how it works, let's say you were given this project as a whole and how it works in 5 steps. What are these 5 steps? Number first is data collection, then the data preparation, then data exploration, data modeling and result interpretation. So these are not hard and core 5-step process. In case of any business need, आपके बीच में भी कुछ steps आ सकते हैं. Okay, so these are not the concrete steps, but yeah, mostly ये steps से ही आपका data जो है आप analyze करते हो. So we will go through these steps one by one. Let's study about data collection. Okay, so data collection में क्या हो रहा है? You have connected devices, right? IOT में क्या है? IOT में there are various communication models. Forget about the fancy terms. Let's say आपके पास Apple का watch है, आपके पास smart TV है, and you know Android watch है. So they are different devices from different manufacturers, right? They have different communication models. Few models could have interoperability. मान लो कि आपका एप्पल का डेटा भी आप क्लाउड में स्टोर कर सकते हो, एंड्रॉइड का डेटा भी आप क्लाउड में स्टोर कर सकते हो, एंड देन यू कैन एक्सेस, सो दैट बिकम्स अ डिफरेंट डेटा मॉडल. देन यू कैन हैव फ्यू gateways. So gateways are nothing but you have your sensors, you have your actuators which can actually process your physical data to digital data and vice versa. So you can have those data collection points. Okay, and from those data collection points you gather the data. Now what happens, डेटा कलेक्शन का जो प्रोसेस, डेटा जनरेशन का जो प्रोसेस है वो एक्चुअली 3 phases में होता है. So when I say 3 phases, those are nothing but number first generation. So like I said कि various devices से आपका डेटा आ रहा है, क्लाउड से आप डेटा एक्सेस कर रहे हो. The second phase becomes the storage of that data. You are collecting that data somewhere and you are going to just dump all the data so that whenever you need you can access that. और थर्ड स्टेप क्या होता है डेटा जनरेशन में, यू कैन एक्सेस इट फ्रॉम एनीवेयर, राइट. सो एक्सेस कैसे कर सकते हो आप, या तो आपका एक मोबाइल एप्लीकेशन है या तो आपका वेब एप्लीकेशन है, एंड यूजर कैन इजीली read the data and access the data. So that becomes your data collection process. So mostly 80% of data जो आता है data analytics में, that is received via actual devices, right, which are having those endpoints. Endpoints मतलब वही sensor, actuators, gateways जो भी हैं, वहां से हमारे पास data आ रहा है, and that is very 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 rich source to collect that data. क्यों? क्योंकि एक्चुअल रियल टाइम इंटरेक्शन हो रहा है डेटा का, वेरिएशन पता चल रहा है हमको, यूजर कब ज्यादा यूज कर रहा है डिवाइस, कब कम कर रहा है, कब बिल्कुल भी नहीं कर रहा है. सो दैट्स द एक्चुअल पॉइंट ऑफ कलेक्शन. सो डेटा कलेक्शन इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट. नाउ डेटा कलेक्ट कर लिया आपने वेरियस डिवाइसेस से. द सेकेंड पार्ट, ओके, अ वेरी फैंसी पीपीटी, क्लीन ऑल द डेटा, डेटा प्रेपरेशन. तो डेटा प्रेपरेशन फेज में हम क्या कर रहे हैं, डेटा प्रेपरेशन में वी आर just cleaning all the data. Now let's take another example. For example, आप को एक US में आपको मैकडोनल्ड्स में कितने बर्गर सेल होते हैं एवरी डे, वो डेटा आपको एनालाइज करने को बोला है. सो व्हाट यू विल डू, लेट्स से यू हैव 5 states फॉर एग्जांपल, एंड देन आपने उनको 5 states को बोला गिव मी द डेटा, व्हाटएवर सेल्स यू आर मेकिंग जस्ट गिव मी द डेटा फॉर दैट स्टेट. आपके पास डेटा आ गया. Now let's say 5 stores have submitted you data in 5 different formats, and now you are sitting as a data scientist, and one store has given in text format, one store has given Excel, one has given CSV, and someone has given PDF. Now what would you do? You would just scratch your head and then you would be confused, like how do I actually make sense out of that data? So that's the most difficult job as a data scientist. You have to clean all the data, prepare the data so that it's good for the use and it's actually readable. It should make sense. तो आपने क्या किया, आपने सारा डेटा ज्वाइन करना शुरू कर दिया. Once you have started to join, you can actually derive कि क्या क्या मिसेस हो रहे हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, किसी स्टोर ने आपको डेटा दिया एंड लेट्स से दे हैव स्वैप्ड द नेम ऑफ नंबर ऑफ बर्गर्स वर्सेस स्टेट. तो नंबर ऑफ बर्गर्स में न्यूयॉर्क आ रहा है और स्टेट में 100 आ रहा है. So would it make sense? नहीं. So your job is to find all the errors, fix them, and make your program or the algorithm useful so that next time आपका data आए तो you can your program or your software can automatically correct it. Okay. So that's the kind of a job which data scientists would do. It's pretty difficult because आपको automatically machine को सिखाना है. That is what machine learning is all about, right? The machine would learn to fix the problem so that next time, let's say number of burgers में आपने सेट कर दिया कि डेटा टाइप तो भाई मेरा इंटीजर ही रहना चाहिए. So what will happen? The next time you would get a red alert or something, and then you can fix that problem. So that becomes easier. But always you can't rely on machine learning. You have to use your own brain to fix that data and find all the glitches to clean the stuff. Okay. So data preparation was this part. We have various tools to prepare and clean the data. And the third phase, which is actually data exploration. So data preparation and exploration goes hand in hand. Both of the roles are worked by the data scientist. And what their job is, they explore the data. Now data exploration is a free field. मतलब खुला मैदान बोलते हैं ना. You have all the access कि आपको क्या करना है उस डेटा के साथ में, आप कैसे एनालिसिस कर सकते हो, आप क्या मेथड्स यूज कर सकते हो, क्या फॉर्मूलेज लगा सकते हो उस पर. दिस इज वेयर your engineering mathematics would come in picture a lot, And going forward, when you would practice for your campus question and answers, then you would realize कि वो जो pattern identification के questions होते हैं, so everyone can identify कि भाई next pattern क्या आने वाला है, but how fast you do it, that matters in the industry. So you have to be quick to solve the problems, complex problems. So now you have a free ground to explore the data to build a model. There would be few missing values in the data set. Obviously आपको हर बार कोई proper set नहीं मिलेगा, उसमें बहुत सारे डेटा के मिस्टेक्स हो सकते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर आपका डिवाइस है एंड सेंसर कुछ टाइम के लिए काम करना बंद कर गया और फिर वापस से चालू हो गया, तो आधे घंटे जो वो बंद रहा, दैट डेटा वुड बी अ लॉस. So you'll have missing values. Okay, then you could have outliers and then some tools. So we would be going through these steps one by one. I have a very basic tool, हमारा भाई बंधु एक्सेल, जो कि हम बहुत ही अच्छे से यूज कर सकते हैं टू हैव अ समराइज्ड व्यू ऑफ आवर डेटा सेट. सो these are like a very small examples. बट जब हम लार्ज डेटा सेट्स के साथ काम करते हैं, देन यू वुड फेस एक्सट्रीम डिफिकल्टी टू समराइज देम, टू सॉर्ट देम. तो फर्स्ट एंड फॉरमोस्ट थिंग क्या होती है, हमारे पास कुछ भी डेटा आता है, वी जस्ट सॉर्ट इट, है ना. कैसे भी सॉर्ट करो, अल्फाबेटिकली सॉर्ट करो, असेंडिंग डिसेंडिंग, कैसे भी हमको एक सॉर्टेड डेटा सेट चाहिए, सो दैट वी कैन इजिली आइडेंटिफाई व्हाट ऑल पैटर्न एंड ट्रेंड इज हैपनिंग. Okay, so for those summarization we have various things like various tools. Number first, Excel. So Excel में, for example, consider this spreadsheet. It is having order details. Okay, order details of salespersons. So salesperson कुछ दिए हुए हैं, इसके आगे एक और कॉलम होगा जिसमें होगी डॉलर अमाउंट कि कितना salesperson ने रेवेन्यू दिया है for a particular order date. And now if you see, our problem statement is to find the sum of revenues for all the orders for all salesperson. Okay. So what you would do, Excel has various facility and it's a very fantastic tool. If you get to explore and learn, you have a very good scope in data analytics. So what you can do is you can just pivot a table. So यहाँ पर आपने अगर right click किया तो आपको pivot table का option मिलेगा and then you can easily select कि आपको किस टेबल इस टेबल में कौन सा डेटा चाहिए. लेट्स से सेल्स पर्सन का डेटा चाहिए एंड रेवेन्यू का चाहिए. रेवेन्यू पे आपको क्या फंक्शन अप्लाई करना है. सो लेट्स से आपको सम ऑफ रेवेन्यू चाहिए. दैट्स योर बिजनेस प्रॉब्लम, राइट. सो यू अप्लाई अ फंक्शन कॉल्ड एज सम एंड देन ऑफ कोर्स सॉर्ट करना है डेटा को. सो यू सॉर्ट बाय असेंडिंग और डिसेंडिंग, व्हाटएवर योर बिजनेस नीडेड, एंड you get a proper summarized data. So this is what our end goal is as a data analyst. Now you have got the salesperson versus sum of revenues. You can easily make out that who was the least performant salesperson and what could be the reason behind that, and who is the most successful one. तो successful one ने ऐसा क्या किया जिससे उसका sales ज़्यादा हुआ. Okay, so you can judge out of that and just predict and make recommendations. All right. The second tool is R. So R, don't get overwhelmed with this screen. इसमें कुछ नहीं है. R is just a programming language. It's a free enterprise software which you can download or you can work online, and you can actually give functions. Functions आप दे सकते हो उसमें and you can get the values out of it. Okay. So for example, मैं आपको दूसरा एक online platform में share करती हूँ, which I was using to practice, and you can also practice that online. Okay, so let me share a window. Not this one. Tab. तो R में क्या होगा? R में भी programming आप करोगे. There are various syntax, easy syntaxes हैं जो कि आप use कर सकते हो, and then you can make the analysis out of it. So everyone is able to see my Chrome screen. And I'm using this rdrr.io.snippets. इसमें क्या होगा? First of all, to start with, you need a data set. Internet पे there are millions of data set you can use and you can practice for this analysis. So for example, in this website, I am already having a data set which is for cars. Okay, तो इसमें मैंने अभी just मैं इसको run करती हूँ, whatever syntax is given here, and I just run this code. So what it gives me some charts and एक plot दिया हुआ है उसने मुझे. उस plot में क्या है? there is a distance field, there is a speed field, and we know that it's for cars. The plot is for cars. तो R आपको क्या हेल्प करेगा? आपको statistical analysis में R programming tool help करेगा. Similarly, there is another language which is Python, which you can use. It's a very easy language and it has similar syntax to R. So आप वो भी use कर सकते हो to drill down to the actual data you are looking for. So for example, in this scenario, now you guys have to help me here, okay? So let's say मुझे कार का जो ये चार्ट दिया हुआ है, इसमें से I want to find the mean value. तो mean value क्या होती है भाई, बता दो मुझे चैट में. How do you calculate mean? Average, correct. So Shrishti, Suryansh, both are correct. Thank you for being with me. So I also get an idea कि सारे students अभी जागे हुए हैं. तो हमको क्या करना है? मीन निकालना है, मान लो कार की स्पीड का. So I type a syntax called as mean and just run it. In this section, you see the output. So this is just an online tool. हाँ, आप इसको download भी कर सकते हो. And there are various platforms to practice. So you get the mean of the speed of car. Okay. Now let's say you want to have a median. Okay. So आपको अगर median value निकालनी है, तो आप median syntax type कर दो and then you can get median of it. What is a median? सेंट्रल वैल्यू. वेरी गुड. सूर्यांश, आपने मैथमेटिक्स काफी अच्छे से पढ़ा है लगता है. आई एम श्योर अदर स्टूडेंट्स आर ऑल्सो अवेयर बट दे आर जस्ट लेजी टू टाइप, है ना? ओके, नो वरीज. Now you can also calculate mode, but I'm not going to give you everything. Now let's say if you want to have a calculation of variance. Okay, variance क्या है? हमारी मीन वैल्यू से कितना फार हमारा डेटा सेट एस्टैब्लिश्ड है हमारे डेटा में. यू कैन ऑल्सो आंसर इफ आई एम गोइंग रॉन्ग. ओके मनप्रीत, ओके दैट वाज अ प्रीवियस आंसर. ओके, सो आई एम सो सॉरी. वेरिएंस का जो सिंटेक्स है आई थिंक VAR होता है. So I got the variance value, that how far my data is clustered from the mean value. Okay. So based on the chart, you can also make analysis, है ना? Now you can have a standard deviation. So all these concepts which you have learned in your engineering, you can actually apply and see कि हमारा data क्या values return कर रहा है, and then आप उससे क्या predict कर सकते हो. Okay. So this is how you can use R via syntax, and then you can also have somebody is saying something. Then you can also identify ranges. Quantile ranges क्या है आपकी? So quantile is nothing but आपका 0, 25, 50, 75 में आपका range divide हो जाएगा, and what all samples fall into that category. So you can get a broader picture how your data set is behaving. Okay. So this is about the R programming tool. Similar to Python. Python भी आप use कर सकते हो. Online आप practice करो. Tutorials point, you can get a lot of information from that. And the practicing tools. So nothing to download and all that. Packages भी आपको inbuilt मिल जाएंगे. Nothing to worry about. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to stop sharing for the R, and we'll go back to the presentation. All right. So the next example, so this we already saw in the live demo. So this is nothing but the descriptive statistics. Descriptive stats में आपने देखा कि data आपका describe क्या कर रहा है अपने बारे में. You can just derive your analysis based on the descriptive stats. Now let's say कि आपके पास you can also make these fancy histograms, okay? And not only blue, आप इसमें colors भी add कर सकते हैं, and then you can actually make a distinguishing factor between all these graphs. So let's say हमने एक ग्राफ यहाँ पर बनाया based using the syntax, histogram and all that behind the scene. Now you have a good chart ready and you have a problem statement to build predictive analysis based on the given data. Okay, so data में आपको क्या दिख रहा है? Count दिख रहा है and then यहाँ पर income है. I'm not sure if you are able to see. Okay, income दिख रहा है. यहाँ पर genders दिए हुए हैं, female and male. तो आपके data set में से इन genders का income का ग्राफ आपको मिल गया है. Now you have to predict your analysis. तो आप इस डेटा को देख रहे हो और आप बोल रहे हो, I'm sorry, unmarried females का income ज्यादा है rather compared to unmarried males, है ना? ग्राफ से आपको इजीली समझ में आ रहा है. एंड मैरिड फीमेल्स एंड मेल्स का डेटा ऑलमोस्ट इक्विवेलेंट ही है, मतलब मैरिड फीमेल्स का डेटा उतना मैटर नहीं कर रहा है यहाँ पे जितना अनमैरिड का वेरी कर रहा है. ओके, सो दीज आर नथिंग बट योर प्रेडिक्शंस. यू आर मेकिंग अ प्रेडिक्टिव एनालिसिस. ओके, बट दिस एनालिसिस इज फुल प्रूफ? नो. इस फीमेल अनमैरिड डेटा में एंड इस डेटा सेट में क्या क्या एट्रीब्यूट्स कंसिडर किए हैं, कौन से स्टेट कंसिडर किए हैं. लेट्स से उस स्टेट में फीमेल का रेशियो ज्यादा है, सो ऑब्वियसली फीमेल का रेशियो ज्यादा है तो अनमैरिड की प्रोबेबिलिटी भी ज्यादा हो जाती है. एंड देन यू हैव मोर इनकम स्टेटस, सो यू कैन जस्ट कीप दोज फैक्टर्स इन माइंड. सो डेटा एनालिस्ट का जॉब वहीं पर खत्म नहीं होता है कि डेटा आ गया. यू हैव टू थिंक ऑफ ऑल दोज फैक्टर्स विच कुड कम एंड विच कुड हैम्पर योर डेटा. So if we just go back to these slides, we have few more points like missing values treatment. Like I said, data set आ गया, कुछ rows में entry blank है. Obviously आपका calculation is going to be imbalanced, right? So how do you treat it? How do you treat missing values? एक तो सबसे easy चीज है कि missing value का row ही हटा दो. So that is one strategy. So that could be used, but let's say आपका 10 लाख का सैंपल है, सैंपल डेटा सेट है, एंड यू गेट 1 वैल्यू और 2 वैल्यूज विच आर मिसिंग, देन यू कैन थिंक ऑफ इग्नोरिंग दोज वैल्यूज बिकॉज दैट वोंट हैम्पर योर डेटा ट्रीटमेंट. बट अगर आपकी लेट्स से 1000 से ज्यादा रोज मिसिंग है, देन इट्स अ पॉइंट ऑफ कंसर्न फॉर अस. सो एज अ डेटा साइंटिस्ट यू नीड टू करेक्ट दोज मिसिंग वैल्यूज. तो मिसिंग वैल्यूज करेक्ट कैसे कर सकते हो? यू हैव वेरियस टूल्स लाइक पांडा करके एक सॉफ्टवेयर होता है. पांडास में आप क्या करते हो? यू हैव अ डेटा मैनिपुलेशन सॉफ्टवेयर, सो यू कैन इजीली मैनिपुलेट दैट डेटा विथ सम वैल्यू और जीरो. ठीक है, वैल्यू क्या हो सकती है? अगेन हमने देखा मीन वैल्यू थी विच वॉज एन एवरेज काइंड ऑफ वैल्यू. तो एवरेज हम कंसिडर इसीलिए करते हैं ना, लाइक पुट दैट एवरेज वैल्यू. इफ कुछ नहीं मिला तो एवरेज होगा, या फिर किसी से वैल्यू कम है तो लेट्स से पुट जीरो सो दैट इट मेक्स सेंस. So those are the various techniques. If you go in detail of missing value treatment and how it's actually done in IoT, there are various methods to perform these treatments. Okay. Similarly, outlier scenario क्या होते हैं? आपने मान लो कोरोना वायरस का अभी रोज पेपर में एक ट्रेंड चार्ट आता है. You get those dots and एक आपको एक ग्राफ मिलता है. We don't read it often, but let's say आपको कुछ डॉट्स पास में मिल रहे हैं एंड एक डॉट जो है वो बहुत दूर मिल रहा है जो कि बता रहा है कि भाई किसी गांव में एक केस मिला. What it depicts an outlier scenario. अब outlier scenario क्या हो सकता है? हो सकता है कि उस गांव में गलत टेस्टिंग हो गई हो, that's why it's an outlier scenario. हो सकता है कि रियली वहां पर एक केस एक्टिव है. So how do you predict that? Again, that depends on your data set. The data set you are getting, you have to treat your outliers based on those kind of scenarios. So again, outliers में भी आप impute कर सकते हो data set को. Like I said, data manipulation always comes into picture, so that outlier आपको consider करना है कि नहीं, that matters. So you have to use your brain to analyze that. So this was a very big topic for data exploration, and this data cleaning and data exploration takes most of the time of the data scientists to actually build the models. So the next step we are going to see is data modeling. So data modeling में आपका क्या हो रहा है? Now you have all the statistical data with you. Your job is to build a model. So let's say आपके पास एक IoT washing machine का project आया है, and then you have to derive a model. So model is nothing but a blueprint, है ना? Blueprint या हम कोई सैम्पल बना के दिखाते हैं which depicts the actual functionality based on the actions we are giving it. So you are creating a data model right now. So you actually see कि what all parameters affect. Let's say आपको आपका problem statement है कि आपकी IoT washing machine जो है it should dry out the clothes in less number of time. Like the time taken should be not more than half an hour. Or your problem statement could be you have to use a certain amount of dollars to make that clothing process and drying process easy. So आपके पास या तो time है या तो आपको dollar value consider करना है. So you will have various attributes like drum size क्या है, आपका temperature क्या रहेगा, आपके rotations कितने रहेंगे. So based on that, you can take maximum values, minimum values. So these are nothing but the functions you would be using behind the scenes. So based on that, you would create a prototype. You would create a model which would make sense कि आपका analysis क्या बता रहा है इस model के through. So this process covers the data modeling part. Any questions so far? Am I going too fast or too slow? Just let me know. Okay. Perfectly fine. Thank you, Suryansh. I think you are the only one who is listening. Okay. Ma'am, which is better for data analytics? Both are better. I think even if you learn a single language, then you can crack your interviews. So you can use any language, like whatever is supported in the industry, you would automatically learn. The syntaxes are more or less the same. Khushi? Thank you. Welcome. Okay, so let's move on to the next part. This was the data modeling. Now you have result interpretation. Okay, very important part. Like I said कि आपने याद है हमने अभी शिवराज सिंह चौहान के लिए काम किया, तो हमने उनको क्या किया, एक स्टैट्स एक प्रेजेंट किया, एक डैशबोर्ड प्रेजेंट किया या एक रिपोर्ट प्रेजेंट की, राइट. उनको हम अपने कागज पत्थर नहीं दिखाने वाले कि भाई हमने ये काम किया है बिहाइंड द सीन. So as a data analyst, your job is to interpret the data perfectly right to the stakeholders. And you have various tools to do this and to present this. These are nothing but called as data visualization tools. Okay, data visualization में क्या है? For example, there are two types of visualization methods. So first is reports and second is dashboard. Reports is kind of static representation where you say ki, like you have done the past analysis of 10 years. So you present it in a in a form of bar charts. Okay. Then you have some donut charts or you have trend charts. So you present your data कि भाई ये चीजें हुई थी and this is all the static analysis. Now you have something called as dashboards. Dashboards are very commonly used and most frequent tool used is Tableau. Tableau आप explore कर सकते हो. Also Excel में भी बहुत सारे features अब आ गए हैं. So you can use to create your dashboards. हाँ, so dashboard का difference क्या है? It presents you with the real time data. Real time data मतलब कि क्या इनपुट मिल रहा है डिवाइस को एंड कैसे वो फ्लक्चुएट हो रहा है या फिर कैसा परफॉर्म कर रहा है, दैट इज एक्चुअली द रियल टाइम डेटा. सो बेस्ड ऑन दैट यू कैन मेक योर डेटा ड्रिवन डिसीजंस. ओके, सो देयर आर फ्यू कैटेगरीज व्हिच कैन हेल्प यू, like which are the benefits of using dashboard both for data analyst and the stakeholders. Obviously हमको दोनों का win-win situation देखना है. Okay, so number one benefit is centralization. Single source of data आप शेयर करते हो with all the stakeholders. So let's say we know that connected things हमारे पास internet of things है ना, and you want to have a single source of data which could actually predict कि भाई comprehensive view क्या है data का, initiative, objective, project, process क्या चल रहा है उसमें. So this is all the centralized data view. The second benefit of dashboard is visualization. Obviously upcoming updated live data आपको मिल रहा है, you can easily spot the changing trends and patterns more quickly. Third benefit is insightfulness. So you pull all the relevant information from data set because you have cleaned the data, you have fixed all the errors, you have made the machine learn now to fix the errors automatically. So insightfulness आपका बढ़ जाता है. You have the relevant information. For stakeholders, the benefit is to understand the story behind the numbers, to keep track of goals, to make decisions. And the last part is obviously customization. Customization is very important. Customization में you can create custom views, right? आप मोबाइल खरीदते हो, फटाफट उसमें widgets add करते हो, जो मुझे चाहिए. You are making a customization as per your need, right? So for stakeholders, the benefit is drilling down to more specific areas for specialized interest or concern. So this is all the benefit of dashboard. I'll again share one very good example which I have captured. We run our code. Okay, so let's say Netflix ने जो analysis किया है. So this is the website for Tableau. Tableau has some great dashboards which are already in their gallery. So you can just find out. And let's say this is an example of report. So what are you watching on Netflix? This is the problem statement. Then you can find the age group. कि age group में भाई Netflix का positive review किसने दिया है? Millennials ने दिया है. 80% millennials love Netflix. Then Gen X आता है, then baby boomers आते हैं. So then the trend is declining. Okay. Now you can make out कि भाई gender, कौन सा gender ने positive opinion दिया. So let's say women ने positive opinion दिया. You can see through the charts. Then you can make analysis भाई top 10 most watch series कौन सी चल रही है. You get a list of all that. And then you can identify कि ये किस कैटेगरी की लिस्ट मूवीज हैं या फिर इसमें कौन सा एक्टर है. या सो बेस्ड ऑन दैट द लैंग्वेज प्रेफरेंस आपके पास एक रिपोर्ट आ जाती है. सो दिस इज हाउ यू कैन actually make the customer walk through your reports. Now the second example what I explained was dashboards. So dashboards में क्या होता है? Let's say आपको कोई शेयर खरीदना है, आपने कोई भी ऐप डाउनलोड किया. What's the first thing you do? You see its chart, कैसा परफॉर्म कर रहा है भाई शेयर. Let's say कि मुझे HDFC का शेयर बाय करना है. ओके एंड मैं उसका क्या करती हूँ, गूगल पे जाके उसका चार्ट देखती हूँ. लाइक दिस, ऐसा मुझे चार्ट दिखता है. आई होप यू आर नाउ एबल टू सी द ट्रेंड चार्ट. Someone please confirm.
Yes, Akansha, we are able.
All right. So आपने क्या देखा कि इन अ सिंगल डे, ठीक है, वहां रिपोर्ट में क्या था आपका पूरा पास्ट एनालिसिस. यहाँ पर आपको एक सिंगल डे का लाइव एनालिसिस मिल रहा है कि कितने टाइम पर डिप हुआ, मार्केट क्लोजिंग होने पर कितना प्राइस था उसका शेयर का, ओपनिंग प्राइस कितना था. सो नाउ यू कैन मेक प्रेडिक्शन फॉर द नेक्स्ट डे. दैट्स हाउ योर एनालिसिस वर्क्स. So this is a very good example of live dashboards which you can just pick it up and analyze. तो आपकी भी analytical skills इससे improve हो जाते हैं, where you can actually see and apply functions कि कैसा perform कर रहा है आपका जो भी आपको share लेना है. Okay, so these are a few very good examples. Now with great data there comes responsibility, obviously, right? तो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी क्या बढ़ जाती है. देयर आर फ्यू चैलेंजेस. आई एम सॉरी, आई एम टेकिंग सम टाइम. लेट मी नो. आई एम बैक टू द प्रेजेंटेशन नाउ. सो यू हैव फ्यू चैलेंजेस in the IoT world. Of course, number one is security. Security is nothing but आपके सॉफ्टवेयर में, आपके कनेक्टेड डिवाइसेस में obviously there would be loopholes. A very basic example, आपने Alexa device लिया, you haven't changed its password. क्या हुआ? The attackers would easily get to know कि most of the people are not changing the password. It's easier to attack. Security prone नहीं रहा हमारा ऐप.
Akansha, PPT is not visible.
All right. Let me share again. Is it visible?
Yes, now it's visible.
Okay. So first loophole हमारा वो हो गया कि भाई हमने पासवर्ड नहीं चेंज किया. Obviously attackers are very like they know कि भाई data change नहीं किया है, it's easier to attack, and there could be n number of security vulnerabilities. Okay, for example, industries are releasing patches and upgrades every time. Now your software is not getting like Android में आपने update नहीं किया, let's say you say कि कल करेंगे and you forgot about it. What happens? Security breach हो गया आपका, it's vulnerable, it's prone to attack. So IoT के there are a number of challenges. There I have highlighted few challenges which incline with data analytics. The second is the nature of data. The nature of data, we have spoke about it in our whole session. You are getting data in multiple formats. Now how you actually process that data could be unstructured, in text format, in video format, sound format. So how you get the data and keep it, store it in your database. There are a few tools like NoSQL where you can actually put multiple formats in rows. So you can use that technology. So the nature of data varies, and that becomes a huge challenge for the data scientist and data analyst. So nature of data, then scaling and volatility. So volatility मतलब मान लो कि आपका कोई database schema, कुछ आपने attribute अलग add कर दिया. Now that schema has changed. How your application is scaling, how your application is reacting to that architectural changes becomes a huge challenge, because सारे devices connected हैं. एक का भी schema change हुआ है. How your device is able to handle that? उसमें आपने existing data में null store किया कि नहीं, उसको clean किया कि नहीं, that becomes a huge challenge. So fixing the architecture, the schema changes, and making the application actually scale, that becomes a major challenge. Also, cloud में जब आप access कर रहे हो तो you have to make 24/7 availability of that data to user. Okay, for example, अगर Instagram थोड़ी देर के लिए down हो जाता तो how we go like अरे क्या करना है अभी? So that kind of data scaling and availability should be there. So these are few challenges in IoT, but obviously the trends are growing, and we have various things which we can actually use. So this is a very quick summary of what we have learned in the session right now. Various devices will give you data. You acquire that data, process that data, store that data, and do analysis. As a data analyst, you make prediction, you categorize things, okay? Sort karo, categorize karo, group karo, spot something unusual, right? You spot the trends, identify themes which you can propose to the user for user interaction. You discover connections, like link kya baith raha hai iske beech mein. You find patterns, what's the behavior, how the machine is performing, and how it will perform in the future. So this is all the problems which you are trying to solve as data analyst. What you would do, you would ask questions, write questions, ask more questions so that you are clear what stakeholders need. You prepare में हमने वो steps cover किए, like preparation, cleaning data, exploring data, processing data, again verifying and report on cleaning data. Then you analyze में you actually put the formulas in place, identify patterns, make conclusion, share that data, reports and dashboard, and finally act. So act is nothing but making decisions, applying your insights and making decisions कि भाई मेरा website जो है वो Thursday night को ज़्यादा अच्छा perform कर रहा है, I have to put some content on that on Thursday night. So that's your action plan. You have now derived a decision and create something new. So very quickly covering the roles in data analytics. There are many roles, but I would cover top 3. Data analyst, which is nothing but a data detective. So your role would be to collect, process, and perform statistical data analysis. Your mindset should be intuitive data junkie with high figure it out quotient. Okay, the language and skills we have discussed, DB, database systems, communication, visualization, mathematics, stats, and machine learning. Languages again R, Python, anyone you can use. SQL, if you are working heavily with the database, SQL is an important skill. Then you have a data scientist, and see what's written, as rare as unicorns, because इसमें बहुत ज़्यादा brain चाहिए होता है. So you, as a data scientist, you have to have skills like distributed computing, predictive modeling, storytelling, and visualizing. Actually, interpretation of data is important. नहीं तो क्या होगा, Mars orbiter जैसे blast हो जाएगा. So storytelling and visualization is important. Then again, math, stats, ML is common to all the roles. Languages are also pretty much common. Mindset should be a curious data wizard. Okay. The third important role is data engineer. So data engineer actually construct the architectures and maintains the architecture. So remember we saw that devices सारा data जो है वो cloud में store करवा रहे हैं. How that architecture is maintained, how the devices are going to communicate with each other. That smooth interoperability is maintained by data engineers. So data engineers have a mindset of all purpose every man. So they should know कि डिवाइसेस का एंड पॉइंट से क्या डेटा आ रहा है टिल द स्टेक होल्डर्स को क्या डेटा कस्टमर्स को क्या डेटा जा रहा है दे शुड बी अवेयर ऑफ दैट skills and talent, data modeling, ETL tool, DB systems, data APIs are nothing but the services like weather services, location services जो आपके होती हैं, data warehousing solutions. Okay, so you have similar languages, SQL, Python, Java, and all that. Apart from that, you could be a DBA, who is the database administrator. You could be a business analyst, who is the communication point between the data engineers and the stakeholders. You could be data analytics manager and whatnot. So these are a couple of roles. I would now like to open the stage for question and answers. And I hope you have learned some idea about how data analytics works in real life and how it helps to actually solve the problems. So question and answers, I'll stop sharing now. And
Akansha, there are some questions in chat box, and
okay.
students, please fill the feedback form. I have already shared it in the chat. Please.
How can we use a data model to create a business model? Okay, so data model and business model, these are two different pillars. Okay, data model where you have actually realized what kind of data sets that the insight that data set is bringing to you. And then business model आप कैसे create करोगे? Business model consists of several other attributes. Okay, so it doesn't work only on your data. In a business, you have to consider the other insights, your competitors, and other variables. So variables जब आप consider करोगे अपने data model में, which are catering to your business model as well, then you can actually collaborate both the things. Okay, Suryansh, are you getting? I'll meanwhile take the next question. Difference between data scientist and data analytics. I think Amisha, you got the answer which in the recent PPTs which I have shared, the data analytics and data scientist
Yes, ma'am.
difference. Perfect.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Suryansh. What else with Python we need to focus to become good in data analytics? So I think Swasti, the skills which I've mentioned in the PPT, apart from Python, you can learn SQL, you can do Excel programming, you can learn Tableau, which is a data visualization tool. So these tools could be very helpful when you project yourself as a data analyst, analytics. All right, and thanks, Swasti. The very recent example which Nikita shared with all of you is a link to fill a form. This is nothing but another example of data analytics. I'll use this data to gather the information like how this session went and how I could make it more fruitful to the audience. So this is also an example of data collection, right? We have learned in the quantitative and qualitative data. We take surveys, polls. So this is also an example of data collection. I hope we are ending on a good note. Nikita, please prompt me if I'm going over time.
I think no. Any other questions, students? If you have, you can ask, please. Akansha, I think there was one more question from Sajal that R is for mathematical application. He asked question for R language. Is that
Okay.
language is for mathematical application or anything? He just asked.
It's for statistical analysis. So statistical and mathematical both go hand in hand. You can, let me show you. So we saw the R code, right? You can use this R. You can use the R syntaxes And these are the mathematical formulas, and then you can use the stats like histogram, and you can, just write it down to generate graphs or histogram or plots out of it to analyze your trends better. So see, this is the statistical analysis, nothing but kind of a similar, they all go hand in hand. It helps you to analyze your data better. I hope I have answered your question, Sajal. Okay.
Akansha madam,
Yes,
I am
Amish.
Amish Jha. Actually, I am assistant professor in OCT, sister concern of OIST college. एक्चुअली मैं आपसे ये जानना चाह रहा हूँ कि आप स्टूडेंट्स को कुछ बुक रेफर कर सकती हैं, जैसे आपने मैथमेटिकल मॉडलिंग की बात की कि हम मॉडल्स क्रिएट करते हैं, या किस डेटा सेट को कौन से मॉडल से हमको उसको रिप्रेजेंट करना है, तो अगर कुछ बुक्स आप बता पाएँ तो उनके लिए बेनिफिशियल होगा.
सर बुक्स पढ़ना तो काफी पहले छोड़ दिया मैंने, बट you can explore one certification which is from Google. They have recently launched for data analytics, and उसमें बहुत सारे courses हैं, बहुत सारे courses नहीं, बहुत सारे modules हैं which you can explore, and of course the YouTube videos. So sorry sir, I am not aware of the books, but I hugely follow the YouTube channels to read all this stuff, and recently I am doing the Google certification also. So that is really helpful. You can get a Tableau, ARC certification and all that, and it's a very comprehensive and बहुत basic से start किया हुआ है, so students can also easily get a grasp of it. Maybe I can get an answer offline if I get some good books. So I'm sorry Amish sir, I'll get back to you.
No issue madam. अच्छा, एक चीज, one more thing I would like to ask. टॉपिक जो था हमारा वो IoT का डेटा एनालिसिस का था, तो आई वाज एक्सपेक्टिंग कि थोड़ा सा आप जो खास करके आजकल AWS पे, अमेजोन पे यूज़ कर रहा है, अलग अलग जो डेटा हमारे इंटरनेट पे, क्लाउड पे जो जा रहा है, उसका अगर कुछ आप इंसाइट दे पाती, आगे भी हम आपसे टच में रहेंगे, तो अगर आप दे पाएंगी तो हमारे लिए बहुत बेनिफिशियल होगा. और एक चीज़ और पूछना चाहता हूँ मैं कि जैसे स्टूडेंट्स हैं हमारे, तो स्टूडेंट्स का क्या है, जैसे मैं जॉब सर्च करता हूँ फॉर एग्जांपल, तो IoT का जॉब मुझे दिखता है naukri.com पे 2000, डेटा साइंटिस्ट या डेटा एनालिटिक्स का दिखता है 19,000, 20,000. और बीइंग इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स इंजीनियर, हमारा क्या दिमाग होता है कि थोड़ा हम हार्डवेयर बेसिक्स पे चलें, आप चीज़ों को कनेक्ट करके देखें. तो आप एक ऐसा कुछ बताइए हमारे स्टूडेंट्स को कि वो IoT के साथ, या IoT नहीं भी लेना चाहते तो किस रास्ते से बढ़ें कि उनको जॉब मिलना आसान हो पाए.
करेक्ट करेक्ट. सो फ्यू स्किल्स सर, जैसे कि मैंने बताया, आप सीक्वल से स्टार्ट कर सकते हो टू एंटर एज अ DBA. तो डेटाबेस एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर, लाइक सर सेड कि AWS या गूगल क्लाउड पर आप अगर जाते हो, यू कैन मेंटेन द इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर. तो आप SQL DBA से स्टार्ट कर सकते हो. यू कैन बी अ डेटा इंजीनियर. डेटा इंजीनियर इज नथिंग बट मेंटेनिंग द आर्किटेक्चर बिहाइंड द सीन्स. आपके प्रोजेक्ट में कितना डेटा कहाँ पर अपलोड होगा, कहाँ से फैच होगा. यू कैन बी अ क्लाउड इंजीनियर. सर अगेन कमिंग टू द क्वेश्चन कि आपको वेरिएशन मिलता है naukri.com पे, डेटा साइंटिस्ट के ज्यादा जॉब्स होते हैं, IoT इंजीनियर्स के कम, बिकॉज इट्स अ रेयर स्किल. एंड most of the companies are not have not reached to that IoT level. They are still in the connected devices space. So smart devices, connected devices ज्यादा यूज हो रहे हैं. IoT ड्यू टू इट्स चैलेंजेस लाइक सिक्योरिटी चैलेंजेस की वजह से उतना अभी बूम नहीं कर रहा है जितना करना चाहिए, स्पेशली मतलब अगर हम यहाँ इंडिया की बात करें. सो इट्स अ वेरी रेयर एंड अ टिपिकल स्किल टू वर्क ऑन. तो आप अगर स्टार्ट करना चाहते हो तो यू कैन सर्च जॉब्स फॉर डेटा इंजीनियर, DBA एंड बिजनेस एनालिस्ट. बिजनेस एनालिस्ट और डेटा एनालिस्ट बहुत इंटरचेंज होकर यूज होता है. सो यू कैन यूज दोज कीवर्ड्स टू सर्च योर जॉब.
Okay, means students should go for data analyst and business analyst in
Yes.
case they are finding job in data science.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, Amish sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thanks, Harshit.
Two more questions are there, Akansha. Actually, they are, I think, somewhat same, that as a beginner, what they should do to become a data analyst, and as a fresher, what should they focus on, because the companies which come for placement don't generally look for data analytics.
Yes. So this could be your additional skill. Of course, देखो सारी companies in the end कुछ चाहते हैं आपसे कि आप business value क्या दे रहे हो उस company को, right? What you are portraying as yourself. So if they interview as you always have an option to switch your jobs and all that. But let's say if you get into the company and you showcase that मुझे Excel बहुत अच्छे से आता है, मुझे R भी आता है, and you get that कि companies मुझे ये opportunity दे सकती हैं, then you can obviously pitch yourself for the data analytics field. So there could be a case कि placement companies आपको उस post के लिए recruit नहीं कर रही, which I mean we can't do anything about it, because if you have to get into the industry, you have to get your hands dirty, then कहीं से तो start करना पड़ेगा. But you can always learn and project your skills in your resume. So resume वैसा build up करो, and then maybe I'm not sure about what all job profiles are there in the electronics section, but mostly आज के समय में AI के लिए अगर आप pitch करते हो अपने आप को that you know data science, then you would be like at least considered for interview. So if make yourself thorough in your quants and maths, so easily आपका interview crack हो जाएगा.
ओके एंड वन मोर थिंग, एक्चुअली जो एसटीटीपी है हमारी वो 2 सेशन की है, एक आज और एक कल. आज के सेशन में हमने डेटा एनालिटिक्स को ज्यादा वो दिया था क्योंकि स्टूडेंट्स को डेटा एनालिटिक्स के बारे में ज्यादा पता नहीं है. देन नेक्स्ट जो हमारा कल का सेशन होगा उसमें आईओटी के बारे में हमारा ज्यादा होगा कि किस तरीके से जो हमने डेटा एनालिटिक्स आज पढ़ा है उसको आईओटी में हम यूज कर सकते हैं. तो टुमारो सेशन विल बी मोर इनटू आईओटी. तो अमीश सर शायद आपको आपके क्वेश्चन के जो आंसर्स हैं वो कल ज्यादा अच्छे से भी मिल पाए जो आप चाह रहे थे शायद आज के उसमें, है ना?
नहीं मिल गया मैडम, काफी जवाब मिल गया.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Okay. Any other questions, students, or we shall wind up then?
Please fill the forms, and if you guys are comfortable, then can we take a video selfie like I did the last time? So it would take hardly 2 minutes. Nikita, would it be fine?
Actually, it depends on the students. Students, are you comfortable to switch on your camera for just 2-3 seconds? She wants to take a video selfie. She always do it. Some of you have attended her lab session also last year. She has taken. So she is just want to have a selfie for you. Yes. Some of them are ready. I think they are saying yes.
Nikita, as soon as you see, can you please take a screenshot? Meanwhile, I think I'll answer the question which Suryansh has asked, day-to-day operation as senior quality engineer in Allscripts. So Suryansh, right now I'm working as a senior quality engineer, and we are working on mobile products which are used in hospitals. And I am closely working with HX, which is Human Experience Team, and I give them inputs based on the design which they suggest. So it's our product is on both iOS and Android. And what I do is I analyze the trends which are going in the market. So let's say if we have a tablet app, then a stylus pen is mostly used by the physicians, and how physicians actually use that data, that security of the data is maintained. I closely work with the human experience team, which actually derives the communication between the doctors or the nurses who are operating our app and doing their analysis. And apart from that, I do test automation. So automation of test, the fields which we are having in the application, and running those automation tests and creating pipelines. So these are my day-to-day operations. And also I talk to the stakeholders. I give demos to the stakeholders. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do. Intriguing, yes, thanks. All right, so let's please don't be shy. Just thanks. Amit is live too. Dipanshi, thank you. Okay, Nikita, whenever you get maximum faces, you can take the selfie for me.
Nikita, I think your cam is not on. Okay, fine.
All right. Are we done?
Guys, smile at least.
Yeah. I hope I have not bored all of you.
Yeah, of course.
It was a productive Saturday, I hope.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's done.
Okay.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Manish sir and Nikita, for giving me the opportunity. And I hope you are the true mentors for these students. So I really enjoyed talking to all of you, and I hope I've answered your doubts and queries too. Nikita.
Yes, Akansha, thank you so much for sparing your time. Thank you, students, also for participating it actively. So, Manish sir, if you want to say something.
No, I think it's a brilliant session. I think students have gained max of it, and it was really an interactive session because these are the technologies which are nowadays used. So, as Amish has asked, I'm also having the same question. If there are some capsule course are there of 15 days or 1 month, so because these students are going to face their campus in the month of July or August, so these
Yeah.
kind of courses will definitely help them out in facing the interviews.
Correct. Um, Probably we can plan it out, but for 15 days, I think it wouldn't be possible for me. But maybe we can work it out and get the right person to have a good session for the students before they get ready for the campus. And I hope I know all of you would do better. So just put your best foot, and when you have your campus, just put your 100% in your preparation.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and have a good Saturday. Bye bye.
Okay, bye, Akansha. Thank you, everyone.